Just recently on Carmelo's show, 7 p.m. in Brooklyn, that's the name of it. He spoke out about the situation of the Denver Nuggets giving Nikola Jokic the number 15 when Jokic was drafted by them. Here's what he had to say. It it was a petty maneuver. It wasn't like, "Oh, we got numbers to choose from." It was like, "Here you got 15 and y'all put Jokic in the middle of that. He don't know what the fuck is going on. He could have won it. He could have worn it because he wanted to pay homage. But what I believe is that they gave him 15 to try to erase what I did. I used to think about it, but I don't think about that shit no more." So, a few things I'd like to say about it. First, I do agree with Carmelo that they gave Jokic number 15 to spite him. But here's what I really believe about this situation. I honestly believe that the Nuggets didn't think Jokic was going to be as great as he turned out to be. Heck, I don't even think they thought he was going to be a great player. But I do believe they gave him number 15 because they were angry at Carmelo. They were pissed off at Carmelo. And they figured, like, hey, we're just going to say fuck you to Carmelo by giving this random guy we drafted. He's probably going to turn out to be a scrub, but we're going to give him number 15. And maybe we'll forgive Carmelo later on, but we're angry right now, so we're gonna get him to wear number 15. This guy probably won't succeed, so maybe in 7, 10, 15 years we'll forgive Carmelo and then we'll retire his jersey. I think honestly that's what they were thinking, but it backfired for them. I would say in a good way for them, in a bad way for Carmelo. Obviously, you know the story with Jokic that he ended up being not just a great player, but now I think we can safely say an all-time great player by winning 2 league MVPs and recently winning the NBA championship last year. So he's turned out to be an all-time great. He's a Hall of Famer, and because of that, now they can't undo what I felt was just a simple fuck you to Carmelo. That they can't undo that move now because there's no way Carmelo's jersey number 15 will get retired because what Jokic did for the franchise is just on another level. It's just out of this world compared to what Carmelo did. At best, Carmelo got them to a Western Conference Finals, but Jokic gave them a championship, just dwarfs Carmelo's achievement there. I would say, with that being said, Carmelo Carmelo shouldn't ever expect him to retire it because I remember watching that clip. He's expecting that one day it'll happen. I think that's just him being delusional, to be honest. I also think he's not being honest with himself on why they hated him. He was saying in that clip when I watched the whole entire thing that the media was targeting him and they're pushing that narrative about him just being this bad guy when he wasn't. But I really felt that Carmelo was the bad guy in that situation. At that time, I did not understand why he really wanted to leave Denver, other than his wife, Lala, wanted to be in New York for opportunities, and she convinced him to go, from what I remember, just at that time, allegedly. Just that was really the reason why he went there in the first place. Obviously, second reason, New York, endorsements, all that other stuff. But to me, it was just a weird decision basketball wise because the Nuggets had the talent, I felt, to win a championship at that time. They were really that good. They had a lot of depth. They had a really, really good team, and I felt those final few years of Carmelo, they screwed around and they weren't just mature enough to win a championship, but the talent was there. I felt in 2008, for example, that I think it was 2008. Yeah, it was. No, it was 2009. 2009, they could have beaten the Lakers in the conference finals. Those games were close, and they screwed around, and they ended up losing in 6. The next year, they were immature. They still won 50-some games, and they got bounced in the first round. I forgot who they lost to. I think it might have been Utah. I think it was. It was the Jazz, but they had a really good team, and even that final year with Carmelo, they were going to win 50-some games, and they still did. But he wanted out, so he had the talent. I felt him leaving Denver was the worst mistake he made in his career as a player. I honestly believe if he was honest and and he was truthful, he probably would admit that that was a regretful move he made. They should have stayed there and just tried to win a ring there, because that was the best teams he's ever played on was in Denver. So he made a mistake. Plus the Nuggets, even after he left, were still going to the playoffs. They even had one year where they won 57 games without him. So that team was stacked with depth. They had a lot of talent, and I felt he blew it. So that's all on him. But like I said, he's never going to get his jersey retired. He should just be honest about the situation of what went down and not expect anything from them for them to ever accommodate him. It's just never going to happen. So he should just live with that. At least for his sake, he has New York. They will continue to worship him despite him only getting them to the second round once during his whole entire time there. I think if the Knicks get to the second round again this year, then they will already have had more success in the Julius Randle, Jalen Brunson era than they ever did in the Carmelo Anthony era. So I'm actually rooting for them to at least get out of the first round this year, the Knicks again, and maybe even go to the conference finals. If they can get to the conference finals, then this era of Knicks basketball will be more successful than the Carmelo era. So that's all I have to say about this.